What the blip, 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 blip is gang-stalking? Gang-stalking goes by several different names depending on what the situation is. It is oftentimes referred to as organized harassment, community harassment, social harassment. It is, targeting. It is also known as touchless torment or touchless torture. It is something that has, while it might seem like a new phenomenon for us in this time period of the earth, but trust me when I tell you that it has been around for centuries. I oftentimes say that it is something that has been in existence since the flood. Okay, and basically what I'm going to do in this briefly, this quick dive is I'm going to share with you some information that proves that this is something, the gang-stalking, witch-stalking, that this is something that was experienced by many prophets and righteous people in the scriptures, in the Old Testament, in the New Testament. And one of the most, I think most people are familiar with what happened with the kind of like tension and such between King David, or David, the warrior David, and King Shaul. But what might not be known is that King Shaul was using witchcraft against David. And witchcraft, when you're using it against someone, that is witch-stalking. That is, you're using some of the tactics that will be talked about in a few of the other video clips that you can also find in the commentary. Some of the protocols of gang-stalking, which is on, you can find it on the YouTube channel, this channel, Peculiar People, but you can also find it on the ministry's YouTube channel, which is called Gang-Stalking Ain't Cool. But basically, those, the directed conversations, the defamation of character, the character assassination, those were things that David had to deal with when he was in the court. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share briefly with you a scripture that pretty much proves that. If you can see in the Old Testament, if you go to the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 23. Let's see it real quick here. Chapter 23, and take a look at verse 9. And David knew that Shaul secretly practiced mischief against him. And that word mischief, if you look in the it's a Hebrew word that's translated into English as mischief, but if you look in the Strong's Concordance, it's listed as the Hebrew word number 7451, Ra, R-A, and its pronunciation, it's spelled R-A-H, Ra. And when we look at, taking a look at the definition of that word as to what exactly it was that Shaul was secretly practicing against David, please have patience with me. This is a very thick and cumbersome book. I don't have a lot of table space here, so it's going to take a second here. Okay, that word is translated 442 times in the Hebrew Scriptures as evil. It's translated 59 times as wickedness, and it's translated 25 times as wicked, and 21 times as mischief. And basically what it says here as an introduction to the definition, it says this word combines together in one of the wicked and its the wicked deed and its consequences. It generally indicates the rough exterior of wrongdoing as a breach of harmony and as breaking up of what is good and desirable in man and in society. And then under definition number 1, it says Ra refers to that which is bad or evil in a wide variety of applications. A greater number of the word's occurrences signify something morally evil or hurtful, often referring to man or men. Okay, this is we're talking about witchcraft. He was secretly practicing witchcraft, and we know that's not the first time that is mentioned that Shaul did that. We know that he went to the witch of Endor and actually, had her summon up. He asked for the prophet Samuel, but we know anyone who has an understanding of what's really going on with the laws of the Most High, that was impossible. It was basically a masquerading demon. But Shaul was doing this, and he used this against David. And as I said in another video, if I didn't, then I'll say it here. I had, the podcast that I did, this fiery trial, I did one of the episodes looking at what that witch-stalking that was used against David, and just some of the tactics, how you can, what we are dealing with here, they were also being used against David. And I will put the, if I can remember, I promise, I will put that link to that specific podcast episode. And the other thing that I wanted to point out quickly is that this was also used against the Messiah himself. And we're talking where they literally had what King David referred to it in Psalm 64. He talked about that secret counsel of the wicked, and he was asking in that psalm, in that praise to the Most High, to be covered from them, to not be in their crosshairs. And he referred to them as that secret counsel of the wicked, those individuals the wicked individuals who come together and secretly pray and hunt and or stalk the righteous, those who keep the commandments, those who are children of obedience. They go after them, and they go after them subtly, secretly, from the shadows. And basically, it's gang-stalking is what, or witch-stalking. Witch-stalking is basically using those components, but also a supernatural element where you're coming at them through the realms of the spirit, through literal spiritual warfare. But he spoke of that. Now, the Messiah dealt with that as well. He dealt with being stalked. He dealt with being targeted by the Sadducees, by the Pharisees, by the Sadducees. They did not like him. They were envious and jealous of him, and they felt threatened by him. And if you look, let's just try just a few verses that confirm that. Let's go with Matthew 12. And it's Matthew 12, verse 14. Make sure I got this right here. 12, verse 14. And basically, this is his ministry. He was healing people. He healed someone in the temple or the synagogue on the Sabbath day. And just going up further in verse 13, then saith he to the man, stretch forth thine hand. And he stretched it forth, and it was restored whole, like as the other. Verse 14, then the Pharisees went out and held a council against him, how they might destroy him. Okay, that's one. That proves these people came together in what David had already referenced centuries before, a secret council to go after the upright. Let's also, if you look in Matthew chapter 26, verses 3 through 5. Okay, well, let's just start at the beginning. Verse 1. And it came to pass, when Yahushua had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, Ye know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified. Verse 3. Then assembled together the chief priests, and the scribes, and the elders of the people unto the palace of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas, and consulted that they might take Yahushua, or as many in the world refer to him as Jesus, that they might take Yahushua by subtlety and kill him. Okay, another one. Let's look in Mark chapter 14, verses 1 through 2. And it came to pass, as he went into the house of one of the chief... Wait. Okay, wait. Mark. I'm looking in Luke. Let me go back to Mark. I was looking in. Sorry about that. In the wrong book. Okay, Matthew 14, verses 1 through 2. After 2 days was the feast of the Passover, and of unleavened bread. And the chief priest and the scribes sought how they might take him by craft and put him to death. Okay, so that last one, maybe it can clarify why I kind of felt some kind of way about these two privileged individuals who did that video where they did a mock interview of a quote-unquote gang stalker and were just, making fun of gang stalking, those gang stalking videos that they perhaps, have come across on YouTube where someone is talking about being stalked by hundreds or, dozens and dozens of people, and how they're taking their picture, and how they just don't feel safe anymore, and coming across in a way that for them is paranoid, is deranged, is funny, is humorous, and then at the very end saying, "Oh yeah, and we're going to kill him." Now, what I just read to you, that is something that they do to us. They kill us. And this is the interesting thing about gang stalking, or as it's referred to as touchless torture, is there's no way to prove it. How can you prove that this person who died in a car crash, drunk driving, alcoholism, whatever, and this other person who died in a car crash, how can you determine which one of them was the victim having suffered for maybe 5 to 10 years, 5 to 10 months of noise campaigns, sleep deprivation, gaslighting? They're stressed, they're scared, they're worried, and somebody comes up behind them, charges their car up to their car, flips on the brights in the middle of the night, and then just swerves past them, barely missing them. And then another one, 2-lane road, comes driving down towards them from the opposite direction, flips on their lights, swerves towards them, veers off, just barely missing them, and they panic, swerve, and drive right into a telephone pole, a car that's parked along the side of the road. How can you determine that was the result of brightening, that was the result of gang stalking tactics? You can't. As I said in one of my previous videos, to the best of my knowledge, that is not an option or a choice that's available for the coroners when they're filling out the death certificate and they get to the section that says cause of death. To the best of my knowledge, there is nowhere that says cause of death is gang stalking. Okay, but think about that when they sit up here and talk about, yep, and we're going to kill them. This is something that they do, and this is what they had planned to do and carried out, killing the Messiah. And I'm going to show you just another verse, and this is in the book of John, the Gospel of John. It's chapter 7. Starting at verse 19. Okay, this is they're in Jerusalem. They're at the Passover. Master Yahushua says, "Did not Moses give you the law, and yet none of you keepeth the law? Why go ye about to kill me?" The people answered and said, "Thou hast a devil. Who goeth about to kill thee?" Now let's translate that into just like a modern vernaculism. What was it? Thou hast a devil. You crazy. Who's going around trying to kill you, man? Okay, how many of us have literally been intimidated and have dealt with the subtle implications and innuendos that they're going to kill us, that they're going to get us in a car wreck, that they're going to, come in our house at night because we're always finding the window open anyways and the door. We're just not sure. What if someone does come in and kill us? What if that's being intimated that that's going to happen? And we say that, and someone says, "What do you mean? You're crazy, man. You got a demon. What's up with you, man? You who's trying to kill you?" Similar. Okay, similar. But this is what he said, that this is what they were going to do to him. And what the response was, they didn't take him seriously. Who's coming to kill you? There it is. So these individuals who were able to laugh at this and make a joke of this, no, it's not funny. And to do that is insensitive. It is disrespectful. And yeah. So this is just looking at. I just wanted to just show those verses to prove that this is something. What they're doing is these perpetrators, these gang stalkers and witch stalkers. They're not doing anything new. These are tactics that have been carried down in many different cultures across the centuries. Okay. In the next video, I'm going to take a look at just a little bit more of the origins, more in the more recent in modern times. Okay. Shalom.